All right, we didn't roll the intro for this one because it is a breaking news special.
Breaking news. Dun, 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 dun. Something like that. You know, yeah.
I was vibing. I knew what you meant.
You know what I'm talking about?
James Harden. Now, we're a little late for posting, but James Harden has been traded to the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah. Yep.
And boy, oh boy, when I say we got a lot of requests, we got this many.
Dang, that's crazy. They really wanted us to talk about this, huh?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That was kind of the first thing, and I mean, the day we posted our last video,
Yeah.
episode 5, when we talked about Brad Beal, we posted that video, and almost as soon as we posted that, the James Harden news broke.
Yeah, I know. Yep, right after, bro.
Unfreaking real, man.
Bro, it was crazy though. It was crazy because we kind of mentioned something like that.
We talked about it in the house video, I think. We talked about it on your when we tried to take down the Big G.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Can you eat pizza anymore?
Yeah, I had pizza for the first time 2 days ago since the Big G.
And we ate that in like November or December.
Bro, I couldn't do it, man. Big G messed me up. Big G.
That is wild.
Made me take a big dump. That's why they call it the Big G. Pause.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'm not doing that again. Probably not ever. But it was cool.
So I think the question, it was a common question. Well, that's good that you've recovered, first of all, from the Big G. And that you were able to overcome your trauma of the Big G to eat pizza again.
You know, yeah, it was tough. It was a tough battle out there, but, you know, we got it done.
They had you in the first half, but you got in the second half type deal?
Yep.
Yeah, so anyway, that I think the question that I asked in that video was if James Harden does go to the Nets, which at that time the talk had just been it was just speculation and kind of died down even.
Mm-hmm.
I said, he beats LeBron, or
and
LeBron beats him, and KD and Kyrie.
Is he the GOAT?
Is LeBron the GOAT?
Yep.
So that question still rings. I think we've asked it on this podcast, and I know I asked it in a couple of house videos, but do you still stand by your answer?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
Yeah, because that's tough. At that point, it's just like, unless it's something crazy where the chemistry for the Nets is just completely out of whack,
right,
and LeBron takes him down, then still, regardless, he can be the GOAT, whatever. But, you know, I want a fair shot at him taking him down because I think he can't do it.
That's pretty crazy.
That would be crazy. So, you know, those who actually look forward to having the debate, I feel like the LeBron stance really got a good one if he takes down this team, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Again, me, I don't personally care. But if you're a LeBron fan, this could change a lot for you.
Absolutely. It could help leverage your arguments even more.
Mm-hmm.
So you touched on the chemistry. You said if the chemistry works out, that was one of the questions from YD24. He said, James Harden to the Nets, how do we feel about the trade, and do we think it'll work out? Based off of the first game with that triple-double?
Yeah, it was crazy.
I think Point Harden is going to be
a real thing.
Something that we're going to be seeing more of. I never thought we'd see it. I thought we were going to see like front back tween, step back, left-handed shot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just so used to seeing what we saw in Houston.
Yeah.
But he was getting off of it. I don't know what he finished with, like assists and rebounds wise, or
it was
points.
Like
honestly,
12 rebounds, 14 assists.
That's crazy.
34 points or something like that.
Yeah, him and KD combined
like
for
40.
72,
Four?
or 4, something like that. Yeah, I think it was 4. One had 42 and one had 32.
Okay.
74.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yep. I don't know, man. I have so many thoughts, like I can't wrap my head around everything I want to say because I've been thinking about this since it happened.
Right.
But we talked about it a little bit on House. I like the move. I like the move for sure, though. I said that then. I like the move. It's going to come down. I literally said this, though. I don't think people be listening to me, man. It's one of them things like when they don't watch the vlogs, like they don't be listening to what I'm saying. But I pretty much said, at least right now until Kyrie gets back, like Harden's going to be able to run that one easily.
Absolutely.
And they'll be able to share the ball the way that they want to.
Mm-hmm.
And it shouldn't be much of a dilemma, bro. It shouldn't be any problems really because, I think they can make it work. Like one thing people can't change. Like you can't change your style of play
Absolutely.
to play with a better player. I'm not going to have the same style of play if I'm trying to hoop with somebody that I know is a little more ball dominant. Like,
Right.
I could take a little backseat and play off the ball if I need to.
Right, exactly.
A lot of people can do that. I feel like sometimes we don't give the players the credit or the enough credit to know that they can make that happen. And I feel like that's what's happening with the Nets right now. Now, it's going to be totally different when Kyrie is back. But as of right now, bro, like you said, like Harden's playing the one, and he's playing it well.
Yeah, I mean, watching the highlights, I didn't get to watch the game, but watching the highlights, they looked really good. And what's the deal? Like, he looks like he's dropped 40 pounds. Like, they did him wrong in the pregame.
Yeah.
Talking about he had a pregame meal in that clip. And then he shows up to Brooklyn.
And he was slim.
Now he's
Not slim.
He wasn't slim.
But he wasn't as chubby.
Wasn't as chubby. Yeah. I dare to say slim thick. That's a big pause. That's a big pause.
It is.
2 bars. But I mean, I don't know if he just fooled everybody in Houston. A couple of people said in the comments of the tweets that I saw that he wears one of those like hyper ice things that kind of massages your heats up your back muscles, because by the time you get that age, back gets tight and everything. You can't do a whole lot. So they say he warms up with that. But obviously we can neither confirm or deny that.
That could be true.
It's very true. But so moving on to more questions. This is like we said, this is a James Harden Brooklyn Nets special. Yeah. So that is all we're going to be talking about today. You guys wanted it, so we're going to try to actually give you guys what you want this time. How dominant, from the Izzy Knows podcast, they also said, because of you guys, I'm going to start my own podcast.
That's what's up.
So that's great. So go check out Izzy Knows podcast if you want to.
Yeah, check it out. I'm going to check it out.
If they've posted anything, they may not have. But it said, how dominant do we think the Nets will be since they have Harden and the lack of depth? I need to pull up the tweet. They lost a lot of people.
Yeah, can we go through that?
I will. So it is, where is it at? The tweet details right here. So full trade details. The Nets get James Harden. The Rockets get Oladipo, Dante Exum, Carux, whoever that is. Sorry if I offend anybody. 3 Brooklyn first-rounders, 1 Milwaukee first-rounder, 4 Brooklyn first-round swaps. Pacers get Karis LeVert and a second rebounder, and the Cavs get Jaren Allen and Taurean Prince. So they lost Karis LeVert and Jared Allen. Taurean Prince, probably? Mm-hmm. So, and Taurean Prince.
That is a lot.
So you lose those 3.
Where did Prince go?
He went to the Cavs with Darius Garland and Colin Sexton.
Yeah.
Along with Jared Allen, so they might have really helped the Cavs there. Jared Allen's a very athletic, long, big.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of depth to be losing.
For sure.
I don't know what the other people were averaging, but
that's a lot, bro. That's a lot.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, they were doing a lot too. Kind of like what I mentioned, the little things. Mm-hmm. A lot of those guys that they lost could do a lot of the little things. Like just giving you a simple spark off the bench, bro, means a lot when you're trying to get your team going.
Right.
It means a lot when you have somebody that's willing to take that charge, because that one possession could, lead to something else later. Like
kind of like what the Clippers gave up with Montrez.
Yep.
They gave
same
up
type
an
of
energy guy.
I'm just gonna say that the same type of move, bro. You give up something, and you lose a little energy on the team, and it could be something that could come to haunt you later. Mm-hmm. That's what everybody's kind of debating. Me, I see it. I understand it for sure. The real key is when Kyrie comes back, bro. It's hard to say anything right now because the chemistry, to me, seems like it could be sustainable.
Yeah.
But with Kyrie in the picture, of course, somebody's going to have to take less shots.
Right. Somebody DM'd either me or the Walk-Ons page. I can't remember which one it was, but they said when Kyrie comes back, I'll put the clip of it.
They said he needs to take the back seat.
They said he needs to be the swingman, play off the ball, let Harden run the point, Kyrie catch it in space on the move where he's most effective, and then you have KD. Obviously, it's still going to be I hope it's still KD's team.
I know, man.
I want it to stay KD's team because I think KD is one of those guys. He's kind of like how LeBron was, where LeBron was like, all right, I need to go learn from somebody. Mm-hmm. That's what he said when he took his talents and the decision and all that.
Yeah.
He essentially was saying, like, I'm going to go learn from this person, and then I want to lead my team. He learned from D. Wade, who had done it a couple of years earlier. did what he did in Miami, then left. We see KD kind of doing that, coming over to the Warriors, which everybody says was a weak move, but guess what? He still got the rings, and they still count.
And he still got money.
Yeah, he still got money.
He's still cold.
Yeah. What 7-footer, moving like that?
Come on, man. That's what I'm saying. Thank you, Clay. Come on. Okay, keep going, though.
So we see kind of where KD's taking this leadership role of like, all right, now I'm going somewhere, and it's going to be my team.
Yeah.
Which the Warriors, you could say KD was the star and they ran through him, but nobody was ever going to say that was KD's team.
Yep.
Right?
I agree.
So now we see him moving into that leadership role, whenever Kyrie figures out whatever he figures out. They say he's supposed to be maybe back this coming Saturday at the time of this recording, which I don't know when it would be. But do you think if they don't put – this is a question from – Matty Ice, if Kyrie, or if and when Kyrie comes back, because he is coming back.
Yep.
Do you think if they don't put James Harden at the point, Kyrie can evolve into that pure point? Because that is a very tough thing. What you said earlier is people can change. It's a matter of wanting to.
Yeah.
Do you think Kyrie will want to
–
take that pure point? You don't think so?
I think, I kind of mentioned this as well. Again, it'll come down to who's more willing to take the least amount of shots. And honestly, I see that being KD, and he's probably the most efficient out of the three. We know that.
Absolutely, yeah.
He should probably be taking the most shots, but he'll probably be the person to take the least. Because not only because he's the most efficient, but because his personality is kind of tailored towards not being a ball hog.
Right. I mean, if you can be on the same team as Steph Curry.
Right.
And still, like you said, continue to be efficient, then that says a lot about you as a player.
For sure. And, that's the thing, though. That's the thing. Do I see Kyrie being a traditional point at this point? No,
absolutely not. He's never had to be.
Yeah, for sure. He's just a bucket. He's just a bucket, and he wants to get buckets. Even when it was just him and KD before Harden got over there, he was still taking more shots than KD. Still pretty efficient, though, but he was taking more. I don't think that's going to change with Harden on the floor. Like, he going to still want to get him up.
No, and I hope it doesn't develop into kind of what you see sometimes with college players that are young, where it's like, oh, well, we're on the same team. Oh, Jeremy's getting his money up. He's got about 25. What I got? Oh, I got about 15. I need to go ahead and get.
Yeah, let me get some up.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope it doesn't evolve into that. And transitioning into that, we had another IG DM from, hope I don't mess this up, looks like Asan, and he asked, what do you think the biggest downfall will be? Like, what's going to be the biggest problem for the Nets? And I think exactly what you're saying.
I think it's two.
Is if Kyrie can't develop or doesn't want to, and then we have like, okay, they're shooting 80 shots a game, the three of them, but KD's taking 12, and everybody else is taking the rest. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that's what I think is going to be the biggest problem, and I think
bench play might come back to get him.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Very
especially
true.
With the league right now. You think of longevity. We don't know how long this is. How long the league is going to be.
Right.
We just kind of going through it right now. So you're going to need your bench at some point, bro.
You have to, and it's even more crucial in the playoffs.
It's even more crucial. You're going to need your bench to pick it up. Those three will be able to do a lot. They will do a lot. They'll go far. It's going to be something to see how those who are on the bench really step up to help the three that they have.
Oh, yeah.
And that's possible. They don't even have Dinwiddie. Once he comes back, that's a huge relief.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. And then, there's some other pieces. Shamet, he's on there. He played with the Clippers.
Yeah.
He can go. He can do a little something.
Yeah, he can.
I don't want to hold him. So, they still have some pieces, but like we mentioned earlier, they lost like some key guys kind of, man. Mm-hmm. They lost some key guys, so.
Yeah, the depth, I think, is going to be the biggest issue, because what LeBron's about to do. They're about to rest him as much as they can.
Mm-hmm.
A regular season record means nothing as long as they turn up enough to maybe get a first-round bye in the playoffs and be good.
And that's a team that can do that.
Absolutely. They can coast and be totally fine. We've seen the emergence of Talen Horton-Tucker, who's he's on the squad last year, but really I guess he's just getting more burn or what. But he's kind of asserting himself as to being one of those role player guys. Obviously, Trez is over there now.
Yep.
You got AD, Caruso, some other things to think about on the topic of the biggest problem. Aside from bench play being the problem, are we agreeing the second problem could be maybe Kyrie or just the lack of shots for somebody? I think
just
it's kind of what it is.
Shots.
Not really wanting to put it on Kyrie per se, but PZ Montana asking, that's a great name, asking, with everything going on with Kyrie, stepping away for personal reasons and everything that he's got going on, do you think it's possible that the Nets give up on him, quote unquote, give up and just kind of like, all right, well, do what you do.
Yep.
Kind of like how, well, it's totally different because Phil Jackson handled Dennis a lot differently. Dennis Rodman.
Mm-hmm.
Let him do what he wants to do, but Dennis was, like we said in a couple episodes ago, lapping people in practice after a 3-day bender in Vegas.
Yeah, he was like that.
Yeah, he was
almost like the partying made him better.
Yeah. It was a very different. He was a very different breed. Do you think the net? I mean, it's a serious question at this. I mean, Stephen A. said something about just retire. Like, I mean, I don't know about all that.
Yeah.
If you're the Nets GM and you're in this situation now, do you see the potential of you having to kind of give up on somebody that you fought so hard to get? Maybe not necessarily fought so hard.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. So where does that put you? What do you think?
I do think it's possible. Do I want them to? No.
Right.
Because I do feel like there's a lot of potential with this 3 if they just figure it out. Mm-hmm. And I don't think, like I'm saying this, and I do think they will figure it out, though. Like, again, I'm a fan of the move. Do I think it's possible that they will give up on Kyrie, though? Yeah. Just because of all the extra, stuff, you can't neglect stuff like that. Like, as much as as people want to look past things like that sometimes, it's just like everybody's human. Have your moment, but at the same time, I need to have my moment too. And this is a business, so we can shop you around and see what we can get and get some picks back.
Well, I mean, you see it. I mean, it. In some ways, it's a league of second chances, and in others, it's not. In the NFL with Josh Gordon, I mean, he's suspended indefinitely again.
It's tough, man.
It's like, at some point, they're going to continue no matter how much help they get, no matter how much you make them do. They're going to continue. They're grown. They're going to continue to do what they want to do at the end of the day. And Kyrie has very much been that type of personality, not necessarily off the floor trouble or anything like that. I mean, he did get fined for being at that party and not abiding by the rules and regulations and stuff, and I get that. But I agree with you. I think it's something that if we look at and the dynamic doesn't change between James Harden and KD, where they're sharing the ball. Mm-hmm. They're each, 30, 40 points a night and beating teams by themselves, which obviously they're capable of doing anyway as solo players, like by themselves. I definitely think I agree with you. I think the possibility of them just being like, okay, well, Kyrie's Kyrie. He's going to do what he wants to do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard not to think that. And I don't even want it to be like that because I like Kyrie a lot. Like, that's one of my favorite point guards ever.
He's tough.
Man, Kyrie's so freaking nice, bro.
I mean, we said we made the argument he could be one of the most skilled basketball players ever.
For sure. For sure.
So
I hope not. I really, again, think that if they just stay solid within the group, they can make something shake, something big-time shake. Because it's different, you know what I'm saying? And it will get Harden a ring.
Yep.
That would be nice.
I keep forgetting Kyrie got a ring, but he's the one that won the ring for Cleveland, arguably.
Yeah.
A lot of people argue, I guess. Mm-hmm. A lot of LeBron haters do.
Yeah, they do. Yep.
If it wasn't for Kyrie hitting that side stand, anyway,
yeah,
whatever. We'll leave that bridge.
So it's like, why not come together, man? I think they can do it though. I don't want to be the guy. I don't want to be the negative Nancy. Harden looks happy over there. That's a big change in performance. When you happy on the court.
Oh, yeah. Do you think he could just be happy because he's out of Houston?
Well, yeah, and I think he feels he doesn't have to do it all himself. That's exhausting when you have to go in and day out and know, like, okay, I have to put up 40, 50 just to keep my team around. Mm-hmm. Or I could play how I want to play, score 25 to 30, and I have help.
Right.
And have fun on the court.
Yeah.
Because I have KD with me.
Yeah.
Hey, that sounds a lot better to me.
It does. But also, I think at the same time, like D'Antoni's system, I feel like he changed the system for James Harden.
He did.
So if I go to a place and say, "Hey, coach, I need at least 30 shots a night," and then I get tired for the fact that I'm not winning.
Yeah.
I mean, they gave him Chris Paul. They gave him Russell Westbrook.
That's true. That is
he
true.
had a really good developing big in Clint Capella.
Yep.
PJ Tucker played his tail off. I mean, I'm not saying he had championship pieces, but I mean, we're looking at, not a lot of people can say they played with Chris Paul.
That's true.
Not a lot of people can say they played with Russell Westbrook. Not a lot of people can say that they've played with these guys that are developing into talents, i.e. like Clint Capella and Christian Wood. I mean, he's hooping right now. He's much younger than Clint Capella was, but Shaq made a good point. He's like, when James Harden said, "I gave you everything I had," he was like, "No, you didn't, because the league had to give you what you wanted and you still didn't get it done." So at the same time, I get your point. Like, if I'm having to go get 40 or 50 a night, I can do it. But like, if I have to really try, it is exhausting. But I think in some ways, could have kind of been his fault. Like,
I'm with that.
You know, because when he got to Houston, he knew, like, nobody else is here. I'm about to be the guy.
Yep.
Like, I'm going to be the trigger man. I'm going to be the three-point shooter. I'm going to be the last-second shot taker. I'm going to essentially be able to do what I want to do and get to a bag. And it kind of backfired. But I also see where you're coming from. Because having KD, I mean, man, if I got KD, go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Hoop.
Yeah.
Go ahead, ball out, whatever.
Yeah, man, I just feel like that's just different. I just feel like that's just different, man. I think he wanted to try to get him to a place to where, you know,
right,
he was trying to do what he's doing now, and he did do that though. Like, I don't even want to make it seem like I'm not aware that Harden was dropping triple doubles then too.
Right, and I mean, if we look at the teams that beat him in the conference semifinals and the conference finals, it was Golden State.
That's one, yeah, for sure.
It's Steph and Clay. Like,
yeah, so
you're getting beat by not just one guy, but two guys, and then obviously, you know, Steve Kerr. Of course, that's another good question from somebody that's been DMing the page a lot. Capalot.gen, his IG DM said, "Do you think it'll break the dynamic of the Brooklyn organization, considering they are new from coaches to players, or will everything fit fine and be successful?" I think the point I was making was Steve Nash is kind of in the same situation Steve Kerr was in 2014.
Yep.
He's like, all right, I got these guys. I just need to teach them how to play together, and then I can just kind of
chill. I mean,
sit back.
Yeah.
And I think at that point, you have to understand that Steve Kerr is kind of getting exposed a little bit now.
Think so?
I mean, I'm not saying he's a bad. Now, stop the press before y'all typing in the comments. He's not a bad coach, but with younger people and less superstars, you're kind of starting to see, like, okay, what is he really able to do? And it could be a transition period for, you know, the younger people in a development period, and I totally get that.
What's the Warriors record?
I'm not sure. You have to look that one up, because I think Brooklyn. I'm not sure. Also, I'm going to go ahead and take this time to make a really corny joke, but the Izzy Knows podcast person asked the same thing.
What?
If LeBron beats them, is he the undisputed GOAT? So Izzy knows. That was really bad. That was really bad. Sorry.
Got him.
But, you know, just some filler space.
500, 6-6.
Okay, so
eighth
in the West. I mean, the West.
Did I ask you if they would make the playoffs?
You did not ask me that.
Who did I ask that? Maybe it was Trey. Do you think the Warriors will make the playoffs?
No.
Okay.
Without Klay Thompson, I don't see.
You might be right.
I don't see somebody else stepping up enough, unless, you know, they get some trades in, or the role players just start kind of going crazy. But I don't see them making the playoffs. They might be an 8 seed, like you said, with Portland, or
that's going to change because Denver is 6 and 7.
Yeah,
clearly they're going to move up.
Absolutely.
So, man, that's tough. Okay, your Mavericks hanging in there.
Yeah, I really would like to talk about them, but this is the James Harden special. So
it's James Harden special, man.
But so I think we've kind of exhausted all of the questions that were really relevant. Most all of the comments were, what do we think about it? What's going on? Like, what's happening. We have a special guest walking in right now.
Oh, sorry, I have to interrupt. Jalen's coming. Sorry.
It's okay. Anyway, I forgot what I was saying. I lost it. But most of the comments that you guys asked were, what do we think? How's it going to look? Is it going to work out? So culminating all that into one, like we said, could work out.
Yeah, I think it will work out. I really do.
I hope so. But if it gets down to the finals now in 7 games, let's say the Lakers come out the West. Obviously, Brooklyn's now the front runner to come out of the East and probably to win it all. In 7 games, who are you taking? And
if they make it that far, probably Brooklyn.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many games?
7.
You go full 7. I mean,
yep.
Real sidetracked question. Do you think the NBA kind of rigs some of this stuff for ratings?
Oh, yeah, of course.
You think so?
Man, hell yeah. It's not, yeah, for sure. They have to.
Okay, well, LeBron's going to get his ring, but he's got to play KD.
Yeah.
A matchup of the Eastern or, matchup of the finals 6 years ago.
Yeah, man. Again, it's business, so you're going to try to get the most out of it. You want to maximize. Anytime you think business, you think max potential. That's what you should think. So if we can get 7 games out of LeBron and KD, why not? Let's try to make this. I'll be all for it, though. Like, I don't want NBA to end. So
I hate it. That transition period, because once you lose basketball, unless you're an avid baseball player or baseball fan, I love to play baseball. I cannot. I can't watch it.
Same.
It's about like golf is for me. Like, it's a great napping sport to watch.
No, for sure. I agree.
But yeah, so once you lose, once you get out of the NBA, NBA season, it really is. It's tough.
Yeah, for real. Yeah,
it's a tough one. So you're taking the Nets in 7. I'm gonna just be at the other end. I'm gonna go the other way, so that when it comes finals time, if this happens, we have this clip and we can go back.
Yeah.
So anyway,
unless the chemistry just ends up getting crazy, like terrible between the 3,
right?
Then obviously I'm not going to take the Nets. But if everything just goes even 60% good this first season, I'm gonna take the Nets.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah,
and this is run and gun basketball. We talked about this.
Yeah, there's so much scoring potential just between 2 people,
exactly.
3 people, really.
Yeah, well, 3 of the top scorers in the league on the same team. If we playing run and gun, score, defend a couple of times basketball, I think that's the team you place your money on, in my opinion. So.
Absolutely. I totally agree. So they're going to be able to get it done. Final answer.
If the chemistry stays to 60%, right, yes.
All right. I'll agree with you on that. So with that being said, that is the end of our breaking news segment.
Breaking news. First one.
Hey, make sure y'all let us know before you do something like that again so we can cover it, okay?
Please, man. Please, for real. Because this is the Walk-Ons pod, and we have to be the first to, get that info out.
Yeah, we have to.
Like Woj and then what? Like, no. Jay Jones and Clay.
We're dropping Walk-Ons bombs.
That's what I'm saying.
No more Woj bombs.
Yo, I need to get us one of those, what's the names? That's what I'm going to buy.
A button?
So we can, with the sound effects. And
yeah.
I'm doing that. We're going to buy that next.
All right. You heard it here first. So GG's, guys. We'll see y'all.
GG's.
We'll see y'all in the next one.
Have a good one.